I've always told him everything. All I could tell him is, I love you, Dad, and I'll always love you. I don't want to leave. I'm trying so hard to stay alive. Like he says in one of his songs, I'm fighting for my life. And I just don't want to leave him soon. And I hope I don't. But he knows I love him. And I'll always love him. Yes, and I'm very proud of him. And I tell him from the bottom of my heart, mijo, I hope you really make it. And probably when you make it, I'll be gone. Because that's how it's going to be. But I'm proud of you now. And I'm letting you know now how much I love you, how much I care for you. And I tell him, no matter where I'm at, papi, I'll always love you. I love you since the moment I knew I was going to have you. And I don't love you. I adore you. I adore him. Him and my other boys.
I think so, because she was just screaming like, yeah, it was weird. Yeah, it was just weird. I'm assuming she was in pain for her to yell like that. And I think they would give her medication to calm her down. And they were saying that the fact that she could even scream was a surprise because the state she was going in, it was real bad. So that it was actually a good sign that she could actually yell like that. But I'm assuming she was in pain when I walked in. And I would see like the nurses carry her and all that. That's when she would yell the most.
The day that she passed and you got home, what was it like? Like, what did you feel knowing that she would never come home again?
It was the worst feeling ever. It was the day that I knew would come, and it was something she would always tell me she was never going to be here forever. And I always, to be honest, I think what it was, we were in shock. Obviously, I was in pain. I was crying. I never cried in front of my brothers, but they were crying. I think what it was, we were all in shock. It was just like, you don't know how to feel a shock. Obviously, I wanted my mom here with me, but it was more like I was just in shock. Like, I think it truly didn't kick in. And it kicked in a little more like a few months later, where it's like, wow, like for reals, my mom's never coming back. I'm never gonna speak to her again. And then obviously like the year anniversary, it's like you're kind of still like shocked in a way, because I was trying to work and try not to think about it. And I was like, for real, she's gone. I don't know, I guess it's just different the way everyone deals with the pain.
What do you miss the most about her?
I miss her yelling at me. I'd do anything to hear her yell at me one more time. For a while when she first passed, I kind of regret being on the road. I stopped and I thought about it, and I don't, because I know my mom wouldn't have had it any other way. She was the only one who would push me. Don't want me to get out there and try my hardest.
You know, because she made that mention that most likely when you do make it, that she wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. But like the beautiful thing is that, at least I think, that she did get to see the beginning of your career materializing.
Yeah.
Does that make you happy?
Yeah, it does, because she was there for the beginning. I remember the mindset she used to listen to, and she used to walk into the house and she would tell me, Jay, I'm tired of your voice. And it would be because she was listening to my CD nonstop on repeat, even though I'm sure she didn't understand half the things I say. Yeah, I'm glad she did. I know to this day she's still smiling and seeing that I'm still going, and it's only getting better, and it's only the beginning. But I'm glad she did get to witness the beginning, the very beginning at least. She was fine. I wasn't around. That's when I was on tour. I was on the bus. She was fine, and she's constantly in and out of the hospital, so that's normal to us. So, but this time she just happened to check in, and she just never came back, which was, of course, affected me drastically. But I mean, I spoke to her. I remember I would talk to her just about every other day while I was on the road, and she seemed fine. And then towards the end, when I came back, she just went to the hospital, and I remember I kept calling her. She wasn't answering my calls. It was weird to me. And then I truly don't remember. I think one of my cousins called me, and that's when they told me, oh, your mom's in the hospital. So as soon as that happened, of course, I came back right away. And when I came back, she was really ill. She was in a She was like a vegetable. Like I couldn't even speak to her. I would speak to her and she would respond to me, and it was weird because all the doctors and nurses would say that she wouldn't respond to anybody, that she would just yell in pain. And with me, when I went to go visit her for the first time, I spoke to her and she was responding to me because I would tell her, I was like, Mom, it's me, do you know who it is? And she would say yes, and she struggled, but she said it, and I would just tell her I love her. And yeah. But yeah, it was hard. She was doing really bad. She was getting worse in the vegetable state she was in. And she was in a local community hospital, and they switched her to a bigger one. And when they switched her to the bigger one, they seemed to get a lot more done in a shorter amount of time, because it looks like they were fixing her with whatever medication, because they had a whole team of doctors run tests on her. And it looked like she was getting better, so we were all happier. They were kind of telling us that it was pretty bad, that it was deadly, but like we had faith, especially at the new hospital, and because she was doing better with the new medication and the antibiotics they were giving her. So it was just sad because we went to go visit her and we just took off, and then I literally just got home. I remember I got a phone call from her best friend who was still with my mom at the hospital, and she told me, your mom just passed away. And because when you're in that vegetable state that she was in, you're prone to get a lot of heart attacks and strokes, I believe, and she got multiple ones at once, and she was getting them throughout that whole stage, but she was surviving them because they were little. But I guess this time she got too many and they were all strong, and she didn't survive. So they called me and I had to go back. And since I'm the oldest son mentally, because my older brother, well, he's special, so I had to make the decisions and had to go sign the paperwork. So that's when I went back. I don't know, because even if I was there, I would have been kicked out. Because usually when they do little, I think that was during the times when like they kick you out for a bit and they clean up, and or they change her, they do what they got to do. So we took off because we were tired, but her friend was there. So we figured we'd come home for a little bit. I was going to feed my brothers, and then we were going to go back, but then I got the phone call. It's kind of weird because I kind of sensed it was going to happen. I just didn't want to believe it. Believe it or not, I know my mom was struggling, and I know she wanted to keep fighting to stay alive. But I felt, because I was gone for so long, that when I came back and I started talking to her, it felt like she was finally at peace. It's hard to explain, but it's true. Because she seemed very tense and like she kind of lost hope, like sad. But when I finally did make the trip and talk to her, she started crying. And like I said, the doctors were all surprised because she wouldn't respond to anybody. But she responded to me and she recognized me. And the first time I spoke to her, she was moving and she seemed like she was excited. She seemed like she was finally at peace when I was there. And I would tell her that I was there, and I was taking care of my brothers, and we were waiting for her to come home. For whatever reason it was, because I know she was struggling, and I know she's finally resting in peace now. But I feel like she left comfortable knowing that my brothers are going to be left in good hands, because I know she was worried about them, because I wanted the music career so bad. But I think she left comfortable knowing, she let go, knowing that my two younger brothers were going to be taken care of and they were going to be fine, and I was ready to take over. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but in a weird way, I kind of felt that's what happened. She was finally ready to let go and rest in peace. I think she was in there like for a week. Well, I'm lying, she was in there a week before I found out. And then when I went, yeah, she was in there like for an extra week or two, I believe. She was in there pretty long, because she spent like 1 week at the community one and then like another at the larger hospital. And that's when she finally passed away. It was hard at first because I was only 22 years old when that all happened. You know, it was hard because obviously I was 22 years old. I was single. I didn't have to worry about no one but myself. Whatever decisions I made would affect me only. So when that happened, it just like from 1 minute to the next, it was just I had all these responsibilities because I decided to take in my brothers and take care of them. It was hard. It was hard at first, but in a sense it kind of wasn't, because it was something I kind of always knew, in a weird way, I was kind of prepared for it. My mom always prepared me for it. She would always tell me, I'm not going to be here forever, and you should never depend on anybody but yourself. And she always drilled that into my head since I was a kid. And she showed me to be independent and strong and responsible. And sure enough, now as an adult, I see why she raised me the way she did, because she did raise me with tough love. And I'm glad she did, because when it happened, a lot of people thought, oh, he's too young, he's 22 years old. He doesn't know anything about life, he's not gonna be able to do it, and proved them wrong. I was prepared, and it was hard, but it wasn't, I don't believe it was as hard as it could have been if I would not have been that prepared, if that makes any sense.
Now that his mom passed away, has he changed?
He stepped up to the plate like he had to. You know, he adopted his little brother. You know, he's taking care of his older brother and pretty much done all that he's, you know, been expected to do.
I knew that was a tough time. You know, I told him if he needed anything, even though I was out there, I'd try to help in any ways, or anything, because I know that's real hard.
And you found out how?
I just kept in touch. You know, whether it was music or just what he was up to. You know, just checking up to see what was good. You know, because he told me he was busy. He's in the hospital. You know, telling me about his mom and you know how she was in and out. And then, you know, it was a concern of mine too, you know, so.
Basically the same thing, but I'm working in the studio, different artists, different genres. I'm working on albums, trying to stay consistent. There's a lot to learn. Yeah, I'm Busy Bone Thugs and Harmony. It'll be Roscoe from Dog Pound, Badass from Dog Pound, Daz Dillinger from Dog Pound, Sandog from Cypress Hill. A lot of Chicano artists as well. One of the new ones recently has been Chingo Bling. He's kind of an old school legend. A lot, really. Man, there's no greater feeling. I'm actually blessed that I was able to accomplish that a lot sooner than most artists. It's just no greater feeling. That's how I know I want to be an artist. I love getting on stage. I love the vibe, because you feed off of the audience, basically. So it's like one big old party. The audience is partying with you, having a great time. You're talking to them, the way they respond to you, like, just the energy, the vibe, like, it's unexplainable. You just got to be there and witness it to know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's great, pretty big shows with thousands of people. I mean, it's been a great experience so far. I'm blessed, and I know it's just the beginning. I'm still young, so let's see where else it goes. Right now, I have a great feeling. I'm working on a new solo album, probably work on another album with stay consistent, and we'll see. You just never know. Right now in the music industry, more than ever, Latinos are starting to make it, or Mexicans are starting to make it more. The doors are open a little more. I feel there's a good chance right now, because a lot of people really like the music, and we'll just see where it goes. You never know. My next goal is to headline a show. I want to be able to headline a show to where I'm the headliner and there's other acts put on as opening acts, but obviously I'm the headliner and I'll be able to sell the show out. So that's the next goal. Because, well, I've already been a part of big shows and I've been blessed to be on them, but now I want to know what it feels like to be the headliner. When it's meant to happen, it'll happen. I know it will. For right now, for whatever reason it has to happen, whether I'm not ready, whatever the reason is, but I know when it'll happen, when the day comes, it'll be the right time.
There has to be something that you did with them for him to come out so good, and coming from a barrio.
Well, what happened is, you have to. I've tried my best with him, and I don't tell him verbally. I've showed him with the way I am. You start something, you finish it. You know, the life is very simple. We make it hard. So, I think I've been a model, a role model for him. I tell him, even right today, I tell him, look at me. Stuck to a machine every other day, and I'm still a responsible person. I'm going to be a responsible person till the end. You know, just because I'm sick doesn't mean I don't pay rent, I don't pay bills, I don't finish my tasks. And that's what I've shown him. Not just verbally, but I do it. And I've been a role model for him. And for my other boys, too.